Alright, hello. This is the week 0, this little test week. I'm going to do a little video for you guys here so you guys can have a little bit of insight if you're still needing help with the project. It's fairly simple. If you look at the requirements, it is really just, naming a variable and doing some very simple math and then using the print function. So today I'm going to really quickly just go over a few things that might help you out a little bit for this and be a little bit of foundation stuff before we start next week. So the first thing that I'm going to show you guys is just a few definitions. First thing we got up here is what I'm going to call a string. So a string is anything that goes within these quotation marks. It's a set of characters. It can be words or numbers or anything, any symbol, but it just has to be within that. And a string acts differently than a float or an integer. A float or an integer is a whole number. That would be an integer. This would be a float. Just a few little notation things for you right here. Really quickly, I'm going to also show the variable side. This was part of the assignment. If we were to have a variable, we'd set it equal to something. We can set it equal to an integer, a string, a float. We can set it equal to anything, but for this example, I'm going to set it equal to a string. I'm going to say this is string. Just call it that. And if I wanted to print this, I would just say print. And I could say variable. Now I'm going to get rid of that. And then if I run that, it'll say my variable right there. I could also do and just type it out directly like that, but once you have more complicated code, it starts to really clutter up, and it really is helpful to have things named when you use it multiple times, when you have long strings of text. Next thing I'm going to show you guys real quickly is what's called the writing, the editor stuff right here. So you can see I use the pound, the hashtag, whatever you call it, and basically it just disables it. So now that didn't print the second time because this is just a comment. So usually you want to document your code, so you can say, here is printing the string, and then underneath it you could have your print string, whatever, and then it's a lot easier to look at, it's a lot easier to follow, it's a lot easier to troubleshoot when you do that. Next up, I want to show you guys is some common math operators. Everybody I saw could do, plus, minus, multiplication, and division, which these are very simple. If I just say print, and I want to say print so that I can see it on the screen and see the result. I can just do a function. If I do 9 plus 9 here, obviously that's 18, but it will not show it here. It just knows that this is 18. So if I print that now, it'll say 18. We can do subtraction. We'll get 0. Multiplication, 81. You can go through them like this, but I'm just going to show a couple other operators, give what we might be using in this course. The percent symbol, this is, it means modulo. Basically, what we'll be using that is it finds the difference, right? So if this is your remainder function, so it divides and then it finds the remainder. So if we had 29, let me just print it, 29 modulo of 9, well, you can look at this, and if you think about it, what's the remainder? Not the whole number. So the remainder should be, or it should be 3 with a remainder of 2. If we run that, it just gives us 2. It only shows this remainder part. Now this is helpful for a few of the things we'll have coming up. But for right now, just gonna want to throw that out there. Another operator is exponent, which is just 2 of the stars, the asterisks. So we do 9 squared, we print that. Very, very simple. That's really all the math operators I wanted you to be familiar with before we start this. And again, the print function if you want to see whatever you're doing. Just another reminder, this is all I have for this very short meeting, this little video I'm producing, is that you should use your documentation as a lot. It's very helpful for me as a grader and also for you as you're working on it. When you need 3 lines of code like this first lesson, you really don't have a lot to necessarily do, but as you start getting pages of code, it really starts to get helpful when you have things documented. That's all I have for this video, guys. Thank you, and I will see you guys on Thursday.